sound transfers. It does. The music transfer. Perfect. Hello, everyone. Again, no one's online. No one's watching, but that's okay. It's just mainly us playing some RPGs and Pathfinder tonight. Now, since that's about it for the beginning, I want to pull all the players in so we can actually see everybody else. So everyone else is on screen. Feel free to wave, say hi, but this is going to be us for tonight. But well met and welcome to the Moonflower Tavern here on my Twitch channel where I play games. My name is Tythalanos, and tonight I am the GM for the first night of our Pathfinder 2e game, long-form campaign in my homebrew world of Cyrenthe. Before we get started, I do have a couple housekeeping items. First, the music you're hearing right now, and for the rest of the night, is going to be provided by the bard, the Derpwood. So you can catch them. Wow, chats, not those aren't working. You can catch them on YouTube. Let's see. I would love to kind of hear any feedback and, you know, let us know how we're doing, because I would like to, you know, make improvements, kind of make it enjoyable for everybody watching. So if you want to join, where is it? My Discord is at the Moonflower Tavern. Feel free to click the link, come on in, kind of connect with us, let us know how we're doing. Great ways to support the channel. You can subscribe to us and to this channel, and if we get up to 50 subs, we'll actually are going to commission some art for all the players. So that's kind of the goal we're trying to reach. Followers and subscribers both are going to create the NPC adventurers in the game, or NPCs. Let's see. Bits. You can also donate bits or copper pieces. Get 100 of them. We'll actually even give a player a hero point, which is kind of used as the luck point. Right now, each of them are going to start with 1, and they're going to keep kind of rolling over from session to session. But on the topic of our players, let's meet them. So kind of tell us about yourself for a little bit and who you will be playing tonight. And Mike, why don't you go first?
All right. Hopefully you can hear me. It looks like you can. My name is Mike, aka DM Madcap, Madcap23 in most places. I am a creator of multiple things, including homebrew and other items. I'm a costumer. I do 3D printing. I have a YouTube channel. I have a TikTok channel, and I have a Twitter feed. Aside from that, tonight I'll be playing a whisper elf named Hastian, who is a rogue and was raised by humans. That's about all you need to know about Hastian right now.
Yeah,
back to you.
Leave them in suspense. Allie, how about you next?
Hey, I'm Allie. I don't play games professionally or anything, and this is my very first campaign, full campaign. Tonight I am playing Joanna, who is a human monk, and I'm excited. I don't have anything else prepared, thank you.
It's quite all right. Again, it's just the beginning. We'll eventually kind of get it all worked out. But Shelly, last up.
Hello. Last, but not least, right? I am Shelly. You can find me on the internet at Real Flea Monkey, and when I say the internet, I mean mostly Twitter. Tonight I'm playing Guzmik, who is a goblin cleric. You may think that's a weird combo, and so do I. Let's see what happens. Back to you.
Awesome. One more. Even though I'm here, I forgot to type mine in because it wasn't working at the time, but that's okay. There are a lot of buttons to press when you're trying to run everything. I tell you what. Okay. I guess you guys weren't listening to music that entire time. I could have played that through Foundry so you guys could all hear the music. But then again, it's probably easier for you guys without. But I think that's it. Is everyone ready? We are going to dive in, and it might be interesting really quick. That is my goal. Everyone set?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to the world of Cyrenthe. Cyrenthe is a generally peaceful country that is still riding the peaceful lull after the Celestial Rift. Over 1,000 years ago, the country's greatest heroes brought an end to the Heroes' War, but at a cost that is still to be tallied. Many gave their lives to quell those who preyed upon the weak and the strong alike. Some parts of the world are still scarred, though many scars have faded to nearly a memory. After the Heroes' War was finished, those in power came together to sign the Scale Binding, a pact to barter peace between the major powers, that they would not perpetuate or involve themselves in future wars. Now there isn't peace everywhere, but no great wars have plagued the land for nearly a millennia. Cyrenthe is a world that is filled with heroes and villains. Some of the greatest heroes, maybe a local captain of the guard, and some of the greatest villains, nothing more than a greedy pickpocket. Those whose stories are whispered or sung from tavern to tavern, though, have failed and succeeded time and time again, always improving and always facing greater and greater challenges. Where their story ends is still unknown. But as for where a story begins, you find yourself in darkness. Quiet, calm, comforting darkness. A sense of peace for a time, before a flash of a vision before your eyes startles you. You see a great red dragon, maw wide as it closes around you. Flash to now you are in a feast hall, raising a mug to your lips, where you taste the strange bitter taste. Flash to now sitting overlooking a battlefield as you feel a deep weariness creep over you as your heart beats louder and slower. Another flash, you're on your back staring at a cloudless sky with a pain in your chest as you see a volley of arrows heading your way. Flash, suddenly the ground shaking below your feet before opening up into an expansive chasm. Flash again as you see the look of horror of a sallow face as you snap a wand in your hand before them. One moment you are in the desert, exhausted and parched. The next moment you are in the frozen tundra, surrounded by wolves. You feel the freezing cold and the warmth seeping from you. These flashes and visions continue for a time before they unexpectedly stop, and you find yourself once again enveloped by darkness, calm, restful, peaceful darkness. Slowly waking from what feels like the most restful sleep you've had in an age, as you open your eyes, you first see a wide, toothy grin of a stark white face silhouetted in darkness. The figure soon comes into focus. You all have seen this figure before, in countless books, in the weave of great tapestries, and the paintings of words passed down from generation to generation. Leaning over you is one who has had many faces and even more names: the Silent Companion, the Lady of Souls, the Final Guide, the Reaper, but most famously, Death. As you blink in shock, the visage changes to that of a tall, slender figure in a regal high-collared gown, next to a hunched man in a cloak of moss, to a figure swallowed in darkness. A dozen faces and silhouettes or more. Some you recognize. To others, you just know the presence. They speak in a gentle, comforting voice. "Ah, you're finally awake. Come, follow me. We have much to discuss and a fair distance to travel." Players, as you kind of look around, you find yourself alone, but with this one figure. No one else is here with you. You're just alone, just the two of you. Looking around, you see a endless expanse of a gray, dusty wasteland. Again, nothing in sight, save for you and the figure standing a few yards away, who had already started walking, or taking a few steps, in a direction that looks like all the others. What would you like to do?
I'm going to follow. Go ahead, Guzman.
Guzman will say, well, where are we going? I mean, everything looks the same. Who are you?
They'll just kind of stand there and beckon. Come, we have a ways to travel.
I'd say. All right.
The other two of you as well, you kind of taking a moment to actually get up and start following, you as well heard, or had that figure as well speak those words to you.
I'm going to just follow the figure.
Me too.
Okay. So as you kind of begin your trek and trudge through the endless expanse, some what feel like days you walk alongside them. Others, years. Yet others, centuries. The sky never darkens or lightens. You feel no need to rest or eat. Throughout this time, it is only ever just the two of you. Often you walk in silence, but they'll obviously answer you on occasion if you were to ask them. Sometimes they seem to speak to themselves, and sometimes they speak to be addressing to you to even an unasked question. But during this time, you also each happen to catch strange visions out of the corner of your eyes. A fine manicured hand passes your vision. Maybe a lock of purple hair passes in front of your eyes. A gold-scaled hand chases it. Hair may tickle your nose, feeling that there is someone else nearby. Your companion at some point seems the same height as you, sometimes twice your height. On occasion, you even hear what sounds like another voice. As time goes on, you eventually reach the base of a rough stone gray spire. It had at one point been less than a speck on the horizon, but now stands before you as a massive structure. As the figure stops and turns in front of the spire, they turn about and speak to you once again. See, that wasn't too long. I'm glad you all continue to follow. You see, you have each been plucked from time at the will of the gods to play their game for the survival of the mortals. Now, at those words, you may be a little startled, and you turn around to see a throng of people with you, each seemingly as surprised to see you as you are to see them. As you scan the crowd, your vision seems to gloss over any one person. Surprised by this, you stare at one person in particular, taking their appearance and committing it to memory. A Dracokin with deep emerald green scales, with eyes of the sun and sunset. Before you blink, and they're gone. The clear mental image you had of them in that moment. Lost. Time to listen well and remember each other's faces. The first stone of your path of destiny will be laid before your feet before too long. With that, the figure spins around to face the spire, and in their hand appears a crooked two-handed scythe. Or does it float next to their hand? But in one smooth flourish, one smooth motion, the figure turns and splits the spire, and a brilliant flash of white light steals your sight. At that, you all awake to the color of the world around you, whether it be the blazing sun, the soft, gentle candlelight, or a dreary, foggy morning. As quickly as you wake, though, so too does the memory and the clear vision fade. The memory to a distant dream. The dream to a flutter of a thought that flits throughout the night. Days, weeks, or months, or years may pass before we reach today. Mike, Hastian, you have just arrived at the town of Godsheim. After leaving the caravan you were traveling with behind on the heart of Cyrenthe, the main trading road throughout the country, cresting the last hill, you see before you the quiet town of Godsheim. Now, not much seems to have changed from your last visit nearly 15 years prior. As you pass the outer wooden walls, there may be a newer section of the wall, a little less finery around the village. The center courtyard of town may be a little more worn with some different signage or change of shops. As you arrive to the center of town a little before dusk, you stand at one of the 4 major entrances to the central courtyard, with nearly a dozen buildings facing in towards the central fountain and its empty column. Hastian, what do the townsfolk see when they see Hastian walking through the town of Godsheim?
Hastian is clad in his leather armor. It's very interesting. It's not like a normal suit of leather. It has both dark and color, almost faded reds and yellows in a what's called party tights type of pattern, where it's black and then yellow here, red on the back, black on the other side, and same with his pants. Almost jester-like as a performer that he was. His hair is shaved on the side and tied back into a ponytail behind him, which allows his large ears to be seen by anyone that is observing him. He's very observant, but casual, if you will. He's always looking around, but he's trying to make it look like he's not. And he seems to be heading towards one direction, which is the local tavern.
Good point. At this, best to have some music. Ooh, do I like that one? Better. You enter into the Smiling Skull Inn. Not much has changed since you have been here last. Again, maybe a little more well-worn. The bartender is new. She is not someone that you have met before, and kind of calls out to you if you wish a room or care for a meal. Muted.
Sorry, because I was trying to move everything to my headphones. I'll take a meal, my friend, and some of your house ale, if I'm remembering right, it's a nice porter, or has that changed since last I've been?
The gal behind the bar kind of calls out, well, that does, I think we do have some left. It's a bit off season, but just fine.
Thank you so very much. And the stew, the normal hunter stew that you had.
Yeah, we
still serve that.
We should still have some plenty. And your name, good sir. I am Kendra, the co-owner of the bar.
Well, my name is Hastian. It's been a long time since I've been here by human reckoning. So I'm very happy to hear that everything is as I recall it.
Well,
although you're new.
I think about 8 years now, I do believe, I have been running it. But welcome back. It will be 2 gold though for the meal and the night and the drink.
Oh, excellent. Let me just take care of that for you.
As a note, Hassian, it is a little more expensive than you remember. A bit of price gouging, or at least a bit of a higher price. Whether or not you're still willing to pay it, I leave it to you, but you do know this is the only inn in town.
It's been quite some time, however, I don't recall it being this costly for the meal. And I know I'm asking for something that's quite out of season with the porter that you have.
As the times, as it were, I do apologize, but I hope it still is within the budget.
I suppose I can take care of that. Yes, he pats himself down, takes out a couple coins, and puts them on the table, pushes them across. It's good to know that this inn is still in good hands. It's been, like I said, quite some time. Thank you for your hospitality.
Sure, and as you know, she's able to get you your drink, eventually gets you your food. You're kind of there for the evening. We'll kind of jump through that a little bit. The music is kind of acceptable. It's nothing terribly special. The patrons and the locals kind of come through, and why don't you give me a perception check?
Because I have to find it. Hang on.
It might be in that fast track hotkeys.
There we go. Perception. Is there perception in here? Because I don't see it.
Metal.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God. Thank you.
I messed around a lot.
12.
Okay. I guess nothing really kind of jumps out. The crowd definitely looks over at you and notices that you're obviously somebody new. You may talk with a few people. You may, I guess, have a decent night, as it were. You can be quite charismatic, but eventually the crowd winds down. You make your way, I'm sure, to your room for the evening. The room is about how you remember, pretty standard for even a town on the heart of Cyrenthe. A little basic. Could probably take your rest, I would assume.
Yes.
Waking up in the morning, probably wake pretty early. If there's anything you really want to do, maybe go down for another meal. You're easily provided for you. And then, I guess, what would you do in the morning? Or
I'd go down for a meal.
Anything else? Or just kind of take your time staying at the inn for the morning with just coming off the road?
Yeah, I would go down for a meal and kind of scope out the locals, anyone that's coming in, anyone that looks like they've been traveling for a while. As a seasoned performer and someone who's gone through, traveling town to town, it should be fairly easy for me to recognize when people are, not locals. So I'm going to be looking for something like that. Because, well, the locals are interesting. They're not always the most interesting people.
You find no one. No one seems to be... Everyone seems very friendly and knowledgeable of each other, and they all seem to be locals, whether or not they spend much time or just kind of pop in for a quick chat and then leave.
Well, I'm gonna trade gossip with him. Talk about what I've learned on the road from where we came from to here. See if there's anything interesting happening around the town.
You get kind of at that question of anything interesting happen. You get a few looks of you up and down, and your general consensus through talking with more people is it's kind of a rough time. Belts are tightening everywhere, and I guess the money just doesn't travel as quickly as it used to.
Completely understand that. Let us see what we can do for help.
They do seem to be amenable to that, or at least they enjoy to see it or hear it. Whether or not they act on it, they probably won't. Taking this kind of morning a little bit slower, you do hear, a strike of a bell in the distance, kind of in the middle morning, and I guess if you're okay with reaching maybe around lunchtime, still being in the tavern, is that acceptable?
Yeah, I'm just hanging out in the tavern, having, looking around, watching, thinking about what my next move's going to be, maybe trying to decide if I'm going to join another caravan or not.
Sure. As you kind of are sitting there getting ready for lunch, you kind of look around at this point, and you see a couple gentlemen, a dwarf and a human, sitting at one of the... Actually, I can pull this up here for everyone to view. Feel free to choose where you would like to sit yourself. But you kind of see a couple gentlemen sitting at one of the three kind of larger banquet type tables. There is a who you have met is Mora, is off in the corner, kind of keeping track of the books. Kendra behind the bar, and in front of her is a young Lycanon child with kind of fox ears and a tail, kind of kicking his feet at one of the on top of the stool, or on one of the stools at the bar, as he is kind of drawing in a notebook.
I'm going to be sitting at the bar.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sure. You're part of the being there overnight. You are actually gifted another meal, a lunch meal at least. She won't charge you for that. Maybe for a drink if you care for a drink. But thank you, Teapup, for the follow. Let's see. As you kind of sit down and you start to get a little bit of your food, and you receive your drink, you hear the telltale footsteps of someone entering up and stepping up onto kind of the outside porch. And you turn back to look kind of who arrives. Shelly, Guzmik. Early this morning, you left the wagon you had hitched a ride on while on the heart of Cyrenthe, as the traders were heading further south than the path that you were set to be taking, drawn to the east in the direction of Godsheim. Waking up in the morning, your first kind of vision, or your first glance of the day, you look to see Salil, the black moon, the hole in the sky, currently kind of cresting or falling behind the horizon to the east. And as it were, you kind of take steps to maybe that's somewhere you're supposed to head. Cresting the final rise, you see Godsheim, a seemingly quiet, sleepy town in your opinion. As you pass the walls of Godsheim, you sense a bit of trepidation, a few extra eyes on you, still welcoming, but giving you a little extra observation. Guzmik, what do the guards see as you make your way into the center of town?
They would see a grayish-green skinned goblin with green lenses covering red eyes, some red tufts of hair on the head, and upon close inspection, there's a gold chain with it's underneath the shirt, but there's a large pendant underneath there. Who knows what it is? It's probably important because the chain's not the shabbiest thing anyone's ever seen. Guzmik walks with a confident air. Confident, but also perhaps a bit hungover. Traveling is not always her favorite thing, and she kind of hit it hard last night just to soften her bed just a little bit more.
Excellent. Before we go any farther, I want to say thanks, Teapot, for the subscription and the following. If you want to send me a message or even type in chat a kind of quick NPC, we want to make sure that I work that into the character, into the game at some point in time. Guzmik, as you kind of walk in deeper into the town, I guess what would you like to do? It's reaching probably, mid-morning, early morning, couple hours from the road before you finally reached Godsheim, but it's a little too early probably for lunch. But if you want to check into the tavern, or if you want to kind of take a quick walk around, I leave it to you.
I will take not a quick, but not a very meandering, just an average type stroll around the town, just to take a look at this dump, and kind of just do some walking, because I've been doing a lot of sitting, traveling. So stretching the legs out and kind of thinking about maybe starting to find some lunch.
Sure. As you kind of, I tossed it in for all the players to see, and we'll get to showing everybody the map here in a bit of time. But Guzmik, since you're kind of alone, you're kind of taking the walk around, you've kind of entered in from kind of the south, and you see a blacksmithy called the Scorched Tongs. There seems to be a big barracks building. You see Teresa's Tinctures, kind of an apothecary, a grand residence that kind of has an outstanding balcony out front that you probably assume is a mayor or somebody of importance. There's a bit of a church called the Soothing Shrine. There's a kind of a little more run-down type building that it kind of almost looks like a home of just a random resident, with a little sign above it called this, naming it the Scrap Stacks. There's a large kind of general store with a very crudely etched sign naming it the Baronry. As you probably at this point in time during the day, as you're kind of reaching the other southwest edge of town, you see, or you catch in the air the bit of smell of a bakery, and then you reach the back to kind of where you were, and is to the tavern, the Smiling Skull Inn. And within all of that, in the center of the courtyard, is a fountain. Not really kind of running, just with some standing water and a tall pillar out the center of it. Does that seem to be enough? Is there anything that you would have wished to do during this time?
No, I think that Guzmik might peek into the Soothing Shrine. Just kind of see what, just do a quick, not even a walk-in, just a look in the door, see if anything jumps out at her. If nothing, she's gonna make her way to the tavern and get some oatmeal and sausage with a side of whiskey. That's what she's hankering for.
Sure. As you kind of step into the soothing shrine, or at least peek in, you see a relatively a longer room that has a lot of little alcoves, or like barely set, pretty shallowly set, where you can quickly glance through with your own history and knowledge. You can pick out a few of the, more basic symbols of some of the deities. Two streaking stars on kind of a relief, a leaning tower of books over here, a wilted rose, a key in front of an 8-spoked gear, and back at the very front, you see the blue moon over a book, the moon and the moonflower side by side in front of them, and front and center is the sun on shield. Each of the altars have a small kind of plate set on it with maybe a couple ties or maybe a couple little offerings. Why don't you give me a perception check?
Okay. Oh no. How do I... Okay.
You're still learning Foundry, everyone.
I see the words perception.
Little dice.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm clicking on it. Come on, go. I don't know.
Does
Okay,
the hot bar work, or like the hotkeys? If you go to attributes, you can go down to perception.
So Shelly, when you click on it if you've popped out your character, when you click on it, you need to go back to the Foundry main screen, and it'll have put up a pop out that says
user
perception
error.
check.
Thank you, Mike.
No problem. I had the same problem, so don't worry about it.
It's a 1. Okay, it's 5.
Jesus.
It's 6.
Hey, again, you do have that that hero point if you want to roll. You don't have to, but remember it's out there. And again, anybody watching, 100 bits will give more hero points to the players. Just letting you know, but it's up to you. Do you want to keep it or do you want to use it? Because it's still early, I'm going to remind everybody a couple times. Just kind of get used to the system.
I think I'm gonna save it because I don't really care yet. This was a very kind of a surface look, and I'm realizing that there is a glaring omission in this shrine. So I'm just gonna stroke my pendant and walk away.
That is accurate to what I was about to say. There is one certain shrine missing that you cannot see from your very quick glance. Whether it is there or not, you did not notice it on their quick poking your head in and out.
Spit on the step and walk away.
All right.
Outside, though. Outside. Not inside.
No one seems to really notice. Maybe someone across the courtyard may kind of look back to see what you had been doing, but didn't really pick it up at all. As you head back towards the tavern, let's see if I can get this right. You step up to the on kind of to the porch of the tavern, and I guess feel free to move your character inside.
Okay. Cruising on in. Take a whiff. What does it smell like in here?
I guess relatively well cleaned, hearty stew, but a lot of the windows around the tavern are actually open to keep kind of a fresh kind of temperate weather flowing throughout the tavern. You kind of step in, you see a woman off to your right, kind of in the corner by the staircase, a couple humans at a table kind of chatting, an elf and a little Lycanon child at the bar, And then behind the bar, kind of sitting and next or in front of them, is a human woman who kind of notices the door open and notices someone comes through and yes, what can we do for you? What can we get you?
I'll cruise up here. She's the one that's talking to me behind the bar.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning. I would really like some oatmeal and sausage in the oatmeal, and a side of whiskey. You got that? Here.
Can easily be done. Kendra, by the way, and I'll be get that for you right quick.
I'm Guzmik, by the way. Guzmik. Good to meet you, Kendra.
And she'll kind of stutter a moment. It's a pleasure. That'll be 5 silver. Were you planning to stay the night?
I take another whiff. It smells clean in here, so I say, yes. I do think I am staying a night here. If you have opening.
We have plenty of space. How about a gold then for the night and another 5 for the meal. 5 silver for the meal.
How about 7 silver for the night? And I look close at her with a nice smile. Very pleasant.
Why don't you give a charisma check?
Okay. Gee. Okay, sorry. Charisma's somewhere else. Oh, shoot.
More to learn.
Character. It's gotta be there. It's gotta be there. Yep. Charisma.
I don't even know if it's something you can actually click to roll. Feel free if you need to just roll a d20 and we can add your +3 to it.
Oh no, now I gotta roll a dice too. I am so sorry. How do I roll the dice on here? We had this problem last time.
I think if you just click that you want to roll, and you can click a d20 on the bottom of the chat window. So like actually in chat, there's a whole dice tray.
Right. That's familiar.
And you can actually hit the +3 on the
Oh, okay, I gotta roll. That's 18 plus
18 plus 3
3.
plus your charisma.
21.
So, very well. 12 silver, but I guess are you good for more? If whiskey is what you'll be drinking, it might be a little more expensive going on.
I am always good for more.
With that, she perks up and will gladly, lower her price for that. So that'll be a total of 12 silver that we'll want to take off for you.
I slide it all across the table for her, one by one.
Sure. Hastian, a goblin has chosen possibly the seat right next to you in a completely empty, very large tavern.
I look over at them and I say, you do know that 10 silver equals 1 gold, right? 1 gold, 2 silver is all she was asking for.
I gave her 12 silver pieces.
Right then. I'd suggest trying the hunter's stew, by the way. It's,
Ugh. Sorry, that was voluntary. Involuntary.
You don't like savory, nice stews? What?
I have my taste buds set for oatmeal. But thank you for the recommendation.
I apologize. Yes, I mean later when it's when it's lunchtime. You're right. It is breakfast. I prefer the bacon rather than the sausage. It's at least I know where it came from.
Why do you need to know that?
You're right.
I'm sorry. It is my own. I can eat a lot of different things that you may find unsavory.
And I can appreciate that about your race. I do know several I used to know several goblins.
With
Do you
this,
do tightrope walk at all?
I've never tried that, but I'm pretty sure I'd be great at it.
Excellent, excellent.
with the kind of bickering back and forth, Kendra seems more than happy to quick pour the whiskey and kind of step out of the way. Might disappear for a short bit behind the, into the kitchen off to the right. Kind of hear some clinking and some clacking to prepare what was being made for you. As you sit at the bar, behind is a pretty spectacular, kind of ornate looking pillar of black stone, almost obsidian, where all the where a lot of the bottles are kind of set into little alcoves inside. Looking up, you kind of see a white kind of what looks like a skull almost coming out of the, or kind of inset inside of the black stone above you. Obviously, where the name of the Smiling Skull Tavern comes from.
Hey Ty, just a quick question for you.
Sure.
What's the Lycanon kid drawing?
He seems to be drawing. No, he seems to be kind of be drawing the fountain and a bunch of the reliefs that were on the fountain, trying to. Goose make a quick kind of glance around. You probably would have seen some of the shapes on the fountain, some of the reliefs. Hastian, you have known previously already that the let's see, now I gotta remember in my notes where I put everything. Oh my goodness, where did I put that? We're doing this live, people.
You can get back to me on that if you want to.
Well,
man.
you get that of like on the fountain, there are like running horses, there are fields of flowers, a bunch of different kind of reliefs on there, and they seem to kind of be picking out different angles and different viewpoints of the fountain and their different reliefs that are on them.
So I'm also going to actually look over at my goblin companion and say, by the by, I apologize. It's quite rude of me. My name's Hastian. And you are?
Guzmik. Good to meet you.
Guzmik.
At that, continue.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Kind of at that moment in time, Kendra comes back in, lays your porridge and sausage in front of you, and at that moment you again hear the hard stepping of another pair of footsteps on the porch outside. Allie, Joanna.
Busy day today.
You have been traveling on the road for some time, usually on foot, and Godsheim seems to be a pleasant stop for a day or two to rest your feet. The wall is much similar to many of the small towns you've passed or stopped in on your travels. The town as well is pleasantly quiet. The guards at the gate give you no nevermind as you make your way towards the center of town. Again, just like all the others, stands the fountain with that central kind of pillar, shops around the central courtyard. The smell of fresh baked bread is kind of dulling a bit. It does seem to catch your nose, but what would the townsfolk see when Joanna passes them by?
So the first thing you'll notice, well, obviously, as a human, but very dark, earth-toned robes, all kind of one piece wrapped with some very thin boots. So more just covering feet than actually support. Her hair is very long braids of blonde hair, kind of tied back and out of her face, with just brown eyes and fair skin. And I guess maybe like a very gentle walk, very loose. And she's gonna go straight for the tavern. I think. What time is it?
Maybe a little before midday. I mean, if there's anything else you want to do, feel free, or do you want to go straight in for the tavern?
Straight for the tavern. I always like to scope out the most interesting people.
Sure enough, as you kind of enter in through at the side door, you enter into the tavern, and again, standing before you are the person across the way, kind of off in the corner, the two gentlemen still at the kind of that center table. The little Lycanon child still kind of happily hunched over a notebook. Two other patrons at the bar, an elf and a goblin. The one behind the bar does call out to you. Let's see where I was on here. Kind of calls out to you to, well met, traveler. And catching her eye, welcome to the Smiling Skull Inn. And before she can finish her sentence, your eyes kind of track the rest of the room, where your eyes meet that skull-like shape hidden in the stone. You kind of pause, your eyes go wide. Guzmik and Hastian, you as well kind of follow the gaze of this human who just entered the tavern. And in that moment, you are all returned to the plane of gray, standing before the intact pillar. Though no longer is the figure you now remember that you had remembered and was visible and clear. Now is that unfathomable shape. The crowd as well, a faceless murmur still. But standing in a semicircle are the three of you, clear as you are within the tavern. You sense a flash of motion once again and a flash of light. And now you're back into the tavern, each of you catching a glimpse again of that skull set within the stone. In confusion, you glance to one another. Kendra seems to still be calling out to you with no time lost, but each of your faces a bit pale, maybe a bit of a sweat come over you. I was asking, what could I get you?
Oh, sorry about that. Just a water. I don't drink. And I walk over to the bar. And then an order for these two. My name is Joanna. What is your name?
Kendra, my dear. Will you be staying the night as well?
Yes, please. If you have a room.
We can. That would be 1 gold. And I guess drinks for the others. Maybe make that 2.
Sounds good.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You two seem very familiar. Do you know each other?
We do now.
Yes, we certainly do.
Yeah, so all three of you do... You all do recognize each other now as that vision. But you do not know much of anything else. As it were, Kendra comes back. You're given another drink, and you're kind of left alone for a time, Kenner may go about the kind of bar, and we'll leave it to the three of you for a short time to speak as what you will.
So I look at Johanna and I say, you have the practice movement of one that has performed in front of others, or perhaps it's just skill with movement and possibly combat. Am I reading you right?
You have the darty eyes of a nosy man, sir. But you are correct.
No offense.
A skillful nosy man.
No offense, Matt. I simply, I've lived here. I've lived amongst the humans for quite some time, 70 years, as it were, and I found some observations. For example, the goblin here. I noticed.
It's Guzmik.
I apologize. Guzmik, I've noticed that you did a blessing upon your porridge when it came to us.
I did no such thing. I do realize now that I may have overpaid, though. Thank you for pointing out my mathematical error.
You did overpay, just like I did, but again, this tavern has been here, and it's been a staple in this town for quite some time. It's been 15 years since I've been here, but it is a wondrous tavern.
It smells really nice too. I can't say that I'm not going to enjoy putting my head on a fragrant pillow tonight.
They don't scent the pillows. At least that's my experience. But they are quite well and clean.
This nose.
True. I do not. I only have these ears.
And those eyes that seem to really pay attention to our physical capabilities. Why are you wondering if I would climb a tightrope and she would, well,
I used
be able
to perform,
be a battle?
I used to perform in a circus. That's that's what I used to do. It's been 10 years since the last of our performers retired. It's been 5 years since I've had to attend a wake for one.
I got a special event for those in chat if you care to
Were these the goblins you used to know?
Oh no, the goblins unfortunately.
Okay.
For an interesting event.
We're further
one of the
away
players.
from that. They
Feel free to take a moment to vote.
20 years since.
Otherwise, I'll just make it random.
Rope walkers passed this mortal coil.
Well, we don't live long, so.
It is unfortunate.
Not like your kind.
Do you know of my kind? I've never met anyone that knows of my kind.
You knock it out much?
Oh, I certainly do. I've traveled around the entire world, but there are other elves that I've seen, but none that have the same long, and I pull the ears a little bit out.
Oh,
the same type of long ears that I do. It's been quite a while. I apologize. My experience with goblins has been very limited to those that I used to perform with. I was also an acrobat, and we did some wondrous and amazing things. I would have one that would jump upon my shoulders and catch the other as I hung from my knees on the tightrope, on the trapeze, catch the other in my hands and throw them upon the high wire, and it was quite fabulous. Then I would come up and jump onto the next trapeze, and the goblin on my shoulders would then, of course, go onto the platform and go onto the high wire with their partner. It was a wonderful thing to see when the two of them performed well together.
it sounds like a wonderful show. I've really not seen any circuses. in
You're
my
missing
day.
out. It's a wonderful thing to go to a circus. And I do apologize for trying to read what you both are capable of. It's a habit of mine I got into when the ringmaster would ask me to help him determine how others that wanted to join our circus could ever be useful in the circus. So I developed a skill for looking at what people did physically and assessing them, if you will. And I do apologize if that was rude of me.
If I pass, no apology needed. It's okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much. You
But,
do have the... Oh, go ahead, Guzman.
Should we not talk about what might have, what the shit just happened?
I
Before
don't know what...
we get too much into that, everyone please just make a perception check for me. But continue your role playing.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing that just happened.
I see all.
Why did that not roll? Hello. On perception. Roll. 11. Well, Guzman, you did really well.
Continue on.
Excuse Mick.
Continue on as you were.
But no, didn't you? We all just see something. I mean, I feel like we did see a thing.
I lean in close to Guzman and I say, look, if we all saw the same thing that I saw, we don't want to go bragging about that and talking very loud in a tavern.
I'm not being loud. Okay, that was loud, but that
Understood.
was not the secret things we're talking about.
All right, yes, I saw it too. There's it and then the things and
Did you guys did that all just happen to you guys too, like before we got here, like last night? We didn't all share a dream, did we? I mean, I've heard of that happening. No?
I
Okay.
dreamed that I walked a very far distance with some mysterious figure. Do you guys have any... Oh wait, do we remember anything?
Yes. At this point, you do remember. The entirety of the trip. That figure though is kind of lost in shadow, and the crowd as well, lost in out of focus. But you do remember the three of you at the moment when you all reached the spire.
I did not dream a damn thing last night.
But we all just had a vision just now.
Nope, not at all. 13 on my deception check.
Roll that again. That kind of would have been disadvantaged because you all were
Damn
a little
it.
pale at the same moment.
Oh,
all
6.
you still do have that
No,
you all
I'm gonna
can
let it go.
poker face non-existent with Hastine at this moment. He is still a bit shaken.
Fine. Look, I don't. Last time I relied on any of you fleeting souls, it ended badly for me. To bury you all. Fine, I had a vision, I had a dream. What else do you want to know?
I don't think you need to take out your anger and fear on us. Change your tone of voice, Sonny. We just
How-
met.
How do you like a drink?
I would like fire whiskey, please, and we'll stop there, and perhaps then I will calm down. You must understand my father, the man who raised me. He's lying on his last days, and I am simply looking like a barely out of puberty man, and it's very difficult for me. But yes, a drink. Let's drink first, and then we'll talk later.
We should also ask about our rooms. Maybe a little more private setting to discuss.
Kind of at that point of maybe almost finding a break in the conversation. The young boy who was drawing kind of looks around, kind of closes his notebook, and starts to kind of walk past you and step beyond the three of you, and to head to leave. But Guzmik, you do catch a small hand reaching into your coin purse in an attempt to take a few, or to take something.
Grab it. Grab the hand.
Mike, did you have anything? Are you okay?
I want to try to pickpocket the little boy.
Would you have done that if he was just walking by himself and not trying to pickpocket
No,
Guzmik?
I would not have.
Then
No, I
you
would
actually
not
did not roll high enough to catch
have.
him,
Okay.
because
Fuck.
he rolled a 21.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right.
He got an 18. He did really good. So Guzmik's the only
Nice.
one that was actually aware of this in that moment. So what would you like to do?
Grab the hand. If I can grab it before he takes it back.
Sure. Kind of at that moment of you kind of feel a bit of weight drop back into your coin pouch, as he did get a decent handful, but being caught very quickly releases the hand and kind of surrenders at that moment, and just wide-eyed kind of stares at you. Hello?
I'll lean in really close to his face too and say, I understand what you're doing, but don't do it to me or these two ever.
Oh,
I let go.
okay, with that, he kind of panics and kind of yells and violently kind of pulls back his hand as you let him go, and he kind of falls back a few feet, and the two gentlemen off kind of at the bar, Kendra had kind of probably gone off into the other back room, but the two other gentlemen kind of look up and quick glance at the situation and look over to this little kid, and kind of the human kind of gives a nod of the head to kind of tell him to shove off. But the two of them do step around the table a bit, as it were, to, I guess, make their presence known, and kind of call out. You get the dwarf gentleman. Well, what will we have here? Scaring a little kid?
I will scare a pickpocket, yes, but nothing happened. Therefore, I will let it go.
Well, I don't know if we can just let it go. I've known Kale for quite some time. I don't think anything, and he would have been a pickpocket. And now you're accusing him of stealing? Doesn't sit right with you or with me. Now, how about you there, Ollie? No, I don't think so. And as they both kind of pull out, essentially like clubs of kind of wooden saps, and kind of tap them against your or against their thighs. So, what are we gonna do about it?
Gentlemen. I do not believe that our host would enjoy the fact that you're threatening some of her guests. Do you believe that this is going to be the best for her business? To have guests like us be threatened by the likes of you?
Well, I think if you just pay up an apology, it would go quite the long way.
Oh, my friends, there's no apology necessary. There was nothing that happened. The young boy was drawing and bumped into my friend Guzman here, and simply had a startled yelp that occurred, and simply went about his way. There's nothing that needs to be taken care of here, other than perhaps an excuse that happens when a boy is clumsy. At that age, they're bumping into things all of the time. You know that. Come now, sit down, finish your meal, finish your drinks, leave us in peace.
Well, I think we'll finish our meal when this is settled.
I'd like to go straight to the boy and kneel and say, "My name is Joanna. What is your name? I saw you drawing. What kind of drawing were you doing?"
With you kind of stepping up towards him, would have backed up a few steps. You probably may have followed, or at least, I guess, may have stopped short a bit. He'll kind of glance at the two gentlemen and then back to you, and will kind of pull out one of the chairs at the table and set up his book, and kind of beckon you over to kind of show the drawings. The other two, are you kind of standoffing these other two gentlemen? Are you still trying to kind of persuade them against some rash action?
Which
Yes,
one appears? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Guzman.
You were still in dialogue with them. I was getting ready to do something in the background.
I put my hands crossways on the rapier and the dagger at my sides. I say, "Look, there are two ways that this can go. I prefer that we simply go back to eating our meals and drinking our drinks and leave this in peace, but quite frankly, if you continue advancing, I've lived twice your lifetimes. I know more moves than you do. And hate, absolutely hate, to have to dirty this bar. Any type of violence. I'm in general a pacifist, but do know how to put down a cur. Make your choice. Get a good one. Go back to eating. Nothing has to happen here."
Guzmik, during this speech, this threat, was there anything that you would have been doing?
I am trying to suss out which one appears to kind of be the leader of the two dudes, And if they advance a step further, I'm prepared to cast command on them.
Okay.
On the leader.
The dwarf seems to be kind of the leader of the two, or he's at least the one who initiated conversation, so probably a decent bet.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, so if they advance further or don't look like they're de-escalating, that's what I'm going to do.
Sure. Can I get the three of you to roll perception, please?
Jesus, my rolls suck tonight. 13.
Just gonna move you guys around just a touch. All right, Hessian 13, Joanna 14, Kuzmik.
Oh, I'm having problems.
I had some problems before as well. Just give it a second and then click on
maybe it's the wrong. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Very precise. Nice. Okay, let's see. Hasid, you're pretty focused on the two in front of you. You're not really kind of paying attention too much. Guzmek, a quick kind of glance around the tavern. You can actually see Kendra kind of looking out from the back room. The other gal in the corner kind of is resting in the chair and watching, but not making any move to stop this at all. Joanna, as you're standing there, you're kind of probably hunching down a bit to look at the drawings of Kale to distract him or whatnot. You do catch a hand reaching into your belt pouch as well.
I hit this kid. No, not actually. I do catch him.
Yes.
I would like to simultaneously grab his wrist and grab his notebook.
Okay.
And just kind of stare at him.
Do you raise the notebook out of away from him, or do you kind of stand up and holding him so that he's kind of raised, or are you kind of staying crouched down, kind of with him eye level, or?
Like the exact same body positions, but I extend my arm fully with the journal and then just kind of grab his wrist. It can still be in the pocket.
Sure. Again, kind of reaching that tension point of him being caught again will release, but will make a kind of a bit of a cry about his notebook being taken away, and the two gentlemen glance over and seeing you now holding his notebook away and kind of having a tight grasp on him will kind of sour their faces and will look at each other and then look at you all and kind of glance to say, I guess they just don't learn. And now we are going to we are going to take a quick break, just a couple minutes, quick run to the bathroom. I'm going to set up some of this a little bit of action here tonight in the Smiling Skull Tavern. But yes, we will be back in a short time, so please don't leave, and see you all again soon. Oh, now which button? Haha. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are... Mike is actually eating at the moment and is he's still here, but he's gonna keep his camera off for a little bit. Actually,
yeah, you don't want to see me eating. It's not a pretty sight.
There we go. I was having overlapping audio, but yeah, hopefully again everyone had a chance to tip our bartender. Speaking of tips, the Remember, 100 bits can grant some luck points for some players, some hero points. But right now, we are having a little altercation in the Smiling Skull Inn Tavern. Players, I think you can possibly, on your character sheets, roll a... I think it's your...
Initiative?
Yeah, that automatically rolled over for Guzman and Hastian.
It did. That was cool.
Love it. Perfect. Guzman and Joanna, what's your dexterities?
Oh, we fast. I don't think mine is as good as hers. 14.
16.
Okay. Why does my screen keep doing that? I gotta figure that out. All right, for this moment in time, kind of a quick welcome back to the stream and what you're kind of experiencing. Joanna, you caught this young Lycanon child of about 10, 11 with a hand in your coin purse for the second time now. Not your coin purse, but within your parties. The other two gentlemen, a dwarf and a human, have kind of been accosting you for being rude or mean to this young innocent kid. They have both kind of pulled out clubs, kind of just something looking like to rough you up a little bit. But with that, and with Joanna kind of catching Kale once again, the two gentlemen have kind of made note that they are going to sort out this problem by force. But Hastian, as it were, you rolled 24, so the highest initiative. Grabbing you when your mouth is full, what would you like to do?
I am going to use surprise attack. I am going to spring forward 5, 10, 15 feet, actually 10 feet here. Basically jumping from bar stool to bar stool. I'm taking out my rapier and dagger, and using surprise attack, I spring into combat faster than foes can react. In the first round of combat, if you roll deception or stealth for initiative, creatures that haven't acted are flat-footed to you. So I'm going to do that, and they would be flat-footed, which means I'd get sneak attack. I'm going to do non-lethal damage by hitting them with the pommel of my sword and my dagger using, where is it? Twin Feint as well. Yes. So, sorry, going back to combat.
I don't think we need that deep of music.
On the dwarf, rapier pommel strike is going to be a 24 to hit.
We're going to pull you over to this one because the dwarf is in the red. Sorry to
Oh,
make it
sorry.
That's fine.
Yep. And that is 5 points of damage. And then the dagger pommel strike. Oh, I'm sorry. I also get sneak attack bonus on that.
Yes.
So dagger pommel strike as well. That's probably going to miss. It's a 10. Sneak attack damage for the first one. It's sneak attack. D6. Takes another 1 point of damage.
Okay.
So I smack him upside the head and I say, look, it didn't have to go this way. Just sit back down.
Definitely kind of stumbles a bit, taking taken by surprise about the flurry of activity. Guzmik. Joanna. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
I don't want to fight a kid.
Murder Kale. Murder Kale. Just kidding.
I have to. Yeah. Okay. I am going to. Oh God.
If kind of glancing at Kale, you can tell he doesn't seem to be much of a fighter and is kind of panicking.
Okay. Do I still want to slap him or not? Like, so I'm gonna. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it. No, because I don't want to actually do damage.
You could, if you want, kind of glare him down and do like an intimidation to kind of put him down to frighten him. You could just leave him. He's small enough. You could probably just kind of toss him over your shoulder, like.
Okay. Can I do intimidation? But am I good at intimidation? Yes. Okay. Let's. I want to intimidate him.
Sure. Why don't you roll an intimidation check for me?
A 20.
How would you intimidate him? Just kind of glare at him? Do you kind of, fake him out?
I want to take his journal or whatever and like slam it on the table while like making direct eye contact with him. And I can also like release his other wrist.
Yeah, at that moment, the hand that had kind of been steady and not pulling away from your grasp, when you kind of slam that or the drawing or the notebook on the table and kind of stare him down, you get the whole kind of arm went kind of limp and probably didn't soil himself, but definitely does not seem interested in anything to do with you in close range. That would have been one action. You still have two more.
Yep. Can I just kind of like motion with my eyes to the other guys and not say anything?
As in,
would he understand to like call him off or something?
if you want, maybe a persuasion check for that, or...
Oh, roll lots of dice. 7.
Okay. You don't know what he'll do? You still have one more action for something else you would like.
I don't want to like intimidate. Can I guess maybe just like stand up and look at the other two while like keeping a hand on the journal?
Sure.
I don't really want to make any like actual moves.
That's fine. Then you'll kind of stay there. Kuzmik, you're up. What would you like to do?
Kuzmik clears her throat and begins the goblin song.
Okay, what does the goblin song do, first off?
The goblin song, so it's going to... I will attempt a performance check against the will DC of a single enemy. Let's see. So if I succeed, they will have a more difficult time on perception checks and will saves for 1 minute. That's a critical success. A regular success is the target takes a -1 status penalty to perception checks and will saves for 1 round. So
okay. Why don't you roll a performance check, and while you do this,
okay.
What are you doing with your goblin song? Is it a kind of a limerick? Is it anything particular, or nothing you want to go into? Just general tone. Feel free to describe.
In this scenario, I am going to sing about biting their face if they don't sit down. I'll sing it if you want, but I don't know if our mics are ready for that.
That's quite all right. Whom will you be targeting between the two, the human or the dwarf?
I would be targeting the dwarf.
Okay.
And I just making sure. Oh, I can affect up to 2 targets within range if you have expert proficiency, which I don't have yet.
Okay,
So
just
just
one.
the dwarf. Yep. And performance check. Let's go do this. It rolled. There it is. Oh. Is that your saving throw there that looks
Yep.
so terrible?
Yep. So it looks like you rolled a 15 for your performance check.
I did.
This gentleman actually did fail it, and is actually a critical fail because he failed by more than 10.
Oh, okay.
So for the next minute has -1 to perception and further will saves. Good to know. So that was one action.
One action.
And
My next action
2 more to go.
is going to be to cast command on him, which is a will save. And I'm going to tell him to sit his dwarven ass down.
All right. Anything on your side, or is it just straight him for the wisdom save?
Let me make sure.
Or the will?
You can command the target to approach, blah, blah, blah. The effects depend on the target's will save. That looks like he just needs to make a will save, and so...
So be an 11.
What did you say?
You rolled an 11.
Okay. Save DC 15 will.
Okay, so it was just a regular failure, wasn't
I
a
think.
critical.
So, for the first action on its next turn, the creature must use a single action to do as I command.
Okay.
I think that is the I don't see any other will save there. It's just at the very bottom of all of the descriptions. So I think that's what it is.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And that looks like a
Success.
2 action spell. So I think that is it for you. Let's see. Moving on
Clicked
to...
on cast too, but nothing happened. I think it's counting it somewhere.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out here shortly. The other gentleman, the human gentleman, will actually take offense to this elf striking his friend, and will... maybe that's how I was doing things. Will make an attack at Hastian. And actually, in kind of the panic, we'll probably make all the attacks, but we'll see what happens. Oh, wait. I need to step up to you. There's one. I'll get this down eventually. 6 to hit you, I assume, does not hit you. And a 12. Does that hit you, Hastian? Alright, does not seem like it. That would be the end of Oliver's turn. Moving on to Bryce. He's going to take 3 strikes at you because you are the one up close and personal. Nice if all that worked in. Ooh, a 21 to hit.
That hits.
Hey. Action. Drama. 1 point of damage. Oh, wait. No. Is it really? Ah, +2. 3 points of damage to you, Hastian. It's weird that that did not include that. Interesting. Yeah, we'll learn things here shortly. He'll make a second attack at you as well. So kind of the first one kind of came over the top and aiming for you in the shoulder and striking you in the second one. Quick, the other shoulder was an 18 to hit.
That does hit. That is my AC.
For 7 points of damage. And again, all this will be non-lethal, but still track it as regular damage. Final attack, he kind of loses his balance a bit, and is unable to really recover from hitting you twice. Moving on to Kale, frozen for a moment, realizing that Joanna is kind of threatening him, staring at the others, and he's gonna book it away. He's gonna spend all his actions to run away back to the gal kind of in the corner. Not having a attack of opportunity action for you, Joanna. You're stuck letting him go. It seems to be acceptable in your case or whatnot because you didn't strike him the first turn. Hastian, we're back to you.
Okay, I'm looking and I'm not seeing disarm. Is there a? I know I don't have like a feat or anything that allows me to disarm, but is there disarm in Pathfinder?
There might be. I don't know it off the top of my head. So
All right.
why don't we?
Screw it.
You can make a strike at a weapon to kind of knock it out if you want. I'm just gonna increase the difficulty, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna use verifying. Two actions. All right, I'm not gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna do twin feint against the human. Again, pommel strikes. Rapier. 21.
That definitely hits.
Four points of damage.
With that, you kind of, I guess, where do you strike him with that hit?
Just clocking him across the face.
He takes it and just crumples and falls down to the ground, not moving.
Okay.
You still have 2 more actions.
Yep. So I'm going to have to do rapier strike against, because twin feint requires me to hit the same target twice. And I declared it. So against the other one, rapier strike. 20 to hit.
That hits.
4 points of damage.
Okay.
Dagger strike. $13 to hit.
13 actually meets, so it beats. Damage, please.
Hang on. I lost my audio. There we go. It's back.
You do hit. You tie his AC.
Okay. So I get sneak attack damage with this. So 4 plus 6 sided dice. 7 points damage against him.
Great. With that, he crumples as well. Looking around, doesn't seem like anybody else is coming to harass you at the moment. Maybe going down. Joanna, is there anything you would do like immediately after the fight?
Probably rejoin them. Take the journal, but rejoin them.
Okay. Guzmik?
Yeah, same. I would put away the battle stance that I had adopted, and I guess just stand up and get together with everyone. Get ready to heal anything that we. No. Forget it. Not healing.
Okay.
Oh, you're hurt. Sorry. Yeah. My new friend Hestian is hurt. I'll go over and heal him.
I mean, you don't need to heal him if you don't want.
No, you don't. I'll be okay as long as I can get a long rest.
Oh well, I mean, no, I'll heal you. Something else could come up. You know what I mean?
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I will. Oh, geez, I've never done this before either. So this is just looks like I just popped it up in the chat. Heal versus living. It's just heal.
If you do heal
No, just
versus
do the top one.
Well,
Yeah.
if you do heal, it's just a range of touch. You can do the 2 action is going to be a range, and you actually are going to heal more. Or you do the 3 action, which is just going to heal
Nice.
everybody around you.
No, I'm gonna do. So the top one is a save DC 15.
You won't have to worry about that. Nope.
I'm gonna click on the heal.
Yeah, so you can just do healing because it's not an action or a damaging thing. Okay.
Well, this is pretty slick once we figure out what to.
Once we
click
figure it, it's going to take a little bit of time. But yeah.
on. Yeah. 3 hit points back. Meep.
Thank you so much. Helps out a lot.
So go ahead.
I just don't know what else will happen today. So, I know you are fully capable of taking care of yourself, but
I
we're buds.
I appreciate the backup. I
We're
walk
new-
up to the
new-
bar and I sit down where my food and my drink was, and I say, "Excuse me, what was the barkeep's name? I'm sorry, I forgot."
Kendra, but even before you reach the bar, as it were, she kind of cracks open the door that she had been watching this confrontation behind, and will head back out to you and kind of circle behind the bar to welcome you kind of up to the bar and be like, well, you 3 seem to be a capable lot. The other 2 on the ground will actually stay down for a little bit of time. The gal in the corner will have come up. Hassian, her name is Mora, as you know, has kind of been announced to you previously, will kind of take some time to kind of bandage them up, kind of give them a bit of a few slaps on the cheek to kind of rouse them and set them up away a little bit in the corner, and we'll kind of be off dealing with them. Kale will probably chase after Mora and stick near her, but while also staring at Joanna. Hiding behind her leg, staring at Joanna. Just see. But yeah, otherwise, Kendra's. Yes, you do seem to be a well-rehearsed group. Very capable, at least. And will pour out a drink for each of you of whatever you have been drinking previously.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Just-
Kendra. Ah.
Thank you, Kendra.
Does this happen often? I mean,
bad. My apologies. This is bad business, as it were. Well, I mean, you all seem quite capable, and the town has fallen on hard times and could use the strength of those who might be able to save us. But
excellent.
if a bit of coin and a welcoming tavern would be an acceptable offer for you, I would love to maybe bring in someone to speak with you more. Are you amenable?
Got nothing else going on right now. Yeah. I can only speak for myself.
Oh, you speak for me as well, Guzman.
It's Guzman.
Guzman, sorry. I'll get that right sooner or later. I apologize, Guzman.
It's okay.
With that, she will kind of bid you all to stay put. And she'll be back momentarily. She kind of steps out of the tavern for a moment to kind of hear her yell for. Let's see. I got all the names. I think I remember. She calls out a name. She calls out for Nemi. You don't really see who comes running. A little bit of whispers, or at least the talking that you could care less to track at the moment. And she comes back in, and she's like, the mayor will be with us shortly, and maybe we can discuss what you may do for us. Are you all okay waiting for a few minutes? Do you want to talk about anything, or do you want me to kind of jump ahead? What are you all feeling? Okay, during this...
Good.
Good? Okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, during this time, you can kind of see Mora tending to the other two, kind of getting them up on their feet again. They don't look very good, definitely quite a bit bruised. Not really glaring at you all. More so ashamed of kind of what happened. Kale will probably start kind of making his way towards Joanna a little bit, just a few steps out to tail firmly tucked between his legs, ears kind of tilted back, and will kindly request his notebook back.
I am going to make a big show of taking my purse and handing it to Guzmik. And then I will hand the journal over and just kind of stare at him.
He will kind of shakily take it and step back, and once supposedly out of range, will run out of the tavern.
Before he does that,
Okay.
I bend down to him and say, "Look, kid, you're pretty good. But you need a little more practice. Get out."
Oh yeah, a little too wide-eyed to fully take it in, or to fully acknowledge back to you, but will make his way out of the tavern as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and don't let the door hit you on the way out.
After a short time, maybe 5 minutes, a gnome and a halfling come, we'll say probably a little jogging up to the tavern, and you'll hear the gnome kind of, a young gnome with kind of a curly sandy hair. Oh no, straight sandy hair will kind of open up the door with the halfling and kind of point to the three of you, and really no words are exchanged at that point, and he'll turn to leave the tavern, but the halfling will actually walk up and kind of stride forward. A quick glance at them, they would probably be a middle-aged halfling, relatively nicer clothes and a almost seems like a robe of station, as it were, a little bit more threadbare than, or that you kind of pick up. And she will take a moment and she'll actually walk past the two that are just kind of rousing and, you know, kind of bruised up and beaten up a little bit, and kind of inspect the two of them and continue on, and will crawl up to the seat, or the kind of the tall stool that Kendra had been on, that kind of one back here. They kind of pull it over in front of you, and will kind of sit there with steepled fingers. My apologies for the bad business. This, I'll say the town is, the coffers have been stretched a bit thin, and my apologies that we went through all this ruse, but I guess we could use your help if you care to grant us your assistance. My name is Avis Thren. I'm the mayor of this little town, and well, we have a job for you if you would be so kind as to assist us.
Are you saying?
Are you telling me that you use kids?
Oh my
No
dear sweet
wonder
summer
that-
child. My dear sweet summer child. You obviously, I understand. I see what yes, they use children. Everyone uses children. The circus used children. I was used as a child to help bring in people to hawk the show. It is what it is. It happens all the time. My goodly mayor, what is it that you have for us? And yes, the ruse was quite bad. You might consider a job board with something out front that says "Wanted help to fix our freaking town," rather than make me beat these people senseless.
I mean, Ashton, the kid wasn't bad. You didn't see him pickpocket me.
No, I didn't. He was actually quite good. I'm impressed. But at the same
He's
time,
scared of Joanna now.
yeah,
That's something we can leverage later.
Sorry, kid.
Goodly Bear, what is it that you need from us?
The range of emotions you catch in that interaction of, you know, joy, or I guess frustration of calling out using a child, anger at being called, at essentially that your mention of a job board, the I guess the acceptance of something not well done kind of runs through a range of emotions before she takes a moment to collect herself and will speak in turn back to you all. The problem that we are having is not so simple as a job board. We have attempted to call on aid from the Sundered Collective, the Gleaming Fangs.
Those bastards.
Both have come to our assistance, and neither have succeeded in helping us. For you see, our claim to fame is missing and being held hostage. And every day, our town must pay a tithe of 5 gold pieces. And just for kind of reference for this, 5 gold pieces is a ton of money. So you all are kind of aware of that. Even like the stay here, despite it being expensive, 5 gold is still more than what they were charging. We even had, every time we try to bring in someone to assist us, every time they come to assist us and we do not succeed in retrieving our artifact, the tithe would increase for a time. And let's just say the coffers are near empty. Whether or not any altercation occurs, plenty of times when a crowd of well-seasoned adventurers, we will say, would come to our beck and call, they are sometimes met with a great force against them or a missing host. So we thought maybe try this little ruse to either make a bit of coin, or I guess it seems to find a capable crew that would not make a scene that they were coming. And I'm glad to see the three of you at least are amenable to each other. And maybe the three of you would care to join up for a short time to assist us with our problem.
Well, I don't imagine the pay is very good for this job then, right?
I cannot offer any pay at the moment, though if they have been tithing us as heavily as they have been, and for the past few days, this 10-day, due to a previous attempt, we expect them to possibly have anywhere from 50 to 100 gold, if not more. And we're willing to split this 50-50 with you.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. You want the three of us to leave this comfortable tavern, go out and find these people that are demanding tithe from you, and end them, and we get 50% of the tithe that you've offered them. So we're risking our lives and our livelihood for half, while you sit back in your comfortable chairs and just wait, hoping that we're going to do it and do you justice.
What about 70-30?
Thank you.
With the kind of initial mention of not being excited about the 50-50, you would kind of notice that Mora off in the corner kind of squints at you and kind of glares a bit at you, but will keep quiet. Ivis will respond to say, I do understand what it may seem like, but this has been going on for nearly 5 years. And the town, everyone is nearly bled dry. And the reason for the 50-50 is to at least pay back to some of those who have given all they have to get them back on their feet. So I can only push back to say 60-40.
All right, here's the deal. your information touched me. I'm touched, and I'm hoping that my fellows here are as well. 55-45 for me. Is that going to work for you? These people are hurting. I've seen this town when it's been prosperous, and it looks like shit right now, just to let you know. I was here 15 years ago, and they were prosperous. Now it's a shithole. If we help them, it'll become prosperous again. What you say?
I say, Heston, I cannot keep up. I thought we wanted to make a deal, so I was trying to make a deal, and then
No,
you
I
offered us a
appreciate.
deal, and now you're shorting us.
I appreciate that, but
Ah!
I also look. You weren't here 15 years ago.
No, that's true, and I'm glad.
15 years ago, they were offering fire whiskey for 2 silver a shot.
This is your hometown.
No, it's not. I just was here 15 years ago.
Oh,
Talk about
oh,
5
of
years
course.
ago, though. Times
5
change,
years?
man.
Right, but I'm saying it's become a shithole because they've been bled dry. Let's do it for a little bit more than 50-50. And be happy with it.
All right.
Sorry, I've
Mayor,
got a heart of gold. I like you short timers.
Mayor, I think that Heston is probably sorry for calling your town a shithole, but
No, it is. It's a shithole right now. You should have seen it 15 years ago.
okay, maybe he's not sorry. I'm sorry for him though. I will do it for that. I am not a terrible creature. I will do it for that percentage. What about you, Joanna? New friend.
I honestly don't want any money, but I am very concerned about
New people.
staying with these two, so I'm just gonna, like, nod.
All right.
With kind of that offering that, she definitely, her face brightens up and gets really kind of excited and well, that's great. Well, what? She'll kind of turn to Kendra and be like, Kendra, they stay free. They let them drink free, let them eat free. As long as they, take care of our thing, they help us tomorrow. And
Like for how long can we stay here and eat free? Kendra?
well, we'll need you tomorrow to be in shape in the morning.
I mean, but like, can we come back after and have a little after mission success staycation? You know what I mean?
If you succeed, I believe the whole town will throw such a party.
Well, we're certainly gonna try.
We certainly will succeed. No, there's no try. We're going to do it.
I appreciate
And at that point, I'm hoping that the party includes the entire town.
I can only expect so.
Right. So I'm going to have a bit of breakfast, and I'm going to have a bit of lunch, and I'll look over the two that I just helped beat the crap out of and say, hey, no hard feelings, but know who the hell you're dealing with next time.
They'll accept it because you kick their ass, but might be a little, that these two will remember this. Kind of pops up in your head, but Ibis will look over at them and be like, thank you, gentlemen. Why don't you go back to the barracks, rest up, and be ready for your shift.
Oh shit, they're guards, aren't they?
Yep.
Oh well.
Again, I do apologize for this. It's glad to hear you saw Godsheim in its heyday, or at least back when we had our artifact and could draw a crowd. But
oh my God, so we performed out here. I performed out here.
were
What
you
artifact?
well, I'll say, were you actually here for the Trial of the Gauntlet, that festival?
I cannot remember if it was the Trial of the Gauntlet, but Dr. Hestian's traveling circus of wonders performed outside your town quite some time ago, and I do remember coming into this very tavern and toasting to the skull up there and having a grand time with my fellow performers. It was quite wonderful.
What artifact?
Well, apologies. The artifact is well, an artifact of the Celestial Rift and the Heroes War, but I guess actually where the town kind of built around it was this mailed gauntlet holding a piece of metal that was found, and we're unable to remove this artifact from the town about a mile distance, and it will not travel any farther. And we've had plenty of sages over the years come to visit this, and plenty of people, I guess if you weren't here, they would offer up some gold and a price to pay to attempt to wield the gauntlet.
Oh yeah, okay, that's coming back to me.
Yeah, and
sorry.
And all we know is it was the name that was spoken of it from a sage, I guess many years ago. I was definitely not around during it, but it was named the Gauntlet of Imsith. There's no, as per many of the artifacts in the world, they are unable to be traced and tracked, and so 5 years ago, I can only call him, she kind of turns to Guzmik, apologies, a mob of goblins came in. They came in, kind of wrecked up the town a bit, and in the mayhem were able to steal the gauntlet and make off towards the hills. And we've tried sending in people into the mountains to locate it, and we think we know the cave that it's in, or had been at one point, but we've never been able to find it, despite occasionally clearing out the cave and clearing out any combatants. Within a 10-day, more arrive and demand the tithe again, and we pay a penalty. So I do apologize again for what we did.
So wait, you're telling me that the goblins have the gauntlet and you're paying them the tithe?
Yes, every mid-morning a bell rings out, and we have to, it is my duty to deliver the tithe to the goblins, and we pay to keep our town alive, because without it the town will starve. We expect it is a ways off the heart. Hessian.
Yes.
Or Mike Hessian, out of character, and during your day, you do now remember hearing a discordant kind of bell sometime mid-morning.
Like the day that I've been here, or?
Yep, this morning,
right.
A few hours ago.
So tell me, do you have a cartographer in town that knows that area fairly well and could possibly give us a map of what's out there, because you've cleared out one cave, but in my experience, caves are not singular. There's generally multiple openings into a hillside, if you will.
And
if we had a map, we might be able to make some plans as to how to approach this.
And that is exactly our thought as well. And we just a few days prior, we were lucky enough, well, maybe unfortunate. We're lucky enough to have another crew come by to try to free us of this sent down by the Sundered Collective. Sadly, 2 perished, and the third actually was here, and she said that she would stay for a while, but at a summons from the collective, at a chance to bring back her friends, Cyrenthe has since left, and we do expect to return shortly. But it may yet be quite a number of days. But I don't know how much longer we as a town will actually make it. Plenty of our guards actually went up with her to retrieve her fellows when they as well cleared out the cave, but were unable to find where they had stashed the gauntlet. But yes, a map, easily done.
All right, thank you. Guzmik, got a question for you.
If you're gonna ask me if it's fine that I attack and kill goblins like my own kind, the answer's yes. It's fine. They're obviously a terrible clan.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna ask that. I was gonna ask if you need a night's rest before we start going.
Oh. I mean, it'd be great.
All
Been
right.
traveling all day or all morning, fighting. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great.
Let's get a night's rest then. Mayor, we'll take care of this goblin clan that's been pestering you. So let us, yeah, take care of him.
Thank you much. As we said, turning to Kendra and kind of getting a nod from her, you're free to stay and spend the evening here. If you wish, we can get you before the offering, or I guess we'll leave it to you, and Kendra can always reach out to me. But if you care to visit the town or restock in any supplies you might need, there's even a representative of the collective here if you wanted to ask questions about the artifact. But thank you so much. And she kind of stands up on the stool and kind of will reach out her hands to try to shake your hands, and if you do offer, will pretty vigorously two-handed shake your hand for helping, I guess, offering to save the town.
Yeah, I go ahead and shake her hand.
I do too.
Shake her hand, but with my other hand, I'm gonna grab her elbow so I can steady it. I'm in control.
She'll kind of look a little awkwardly at it, but will freely give in. With that, I guess I will leave you be, but come find me in the morning or have someone sent, and we'll do what we can to help out. And there may be, people about town might I guess have fun until tomorrow.
All right.
So
Thank you,
We will
Mayor.
try.
with that, she'll kind of kind of run out, kind of, or like, definitely got a spring in her step, excited again. If any of you, I guess, watch her leave as she kind of gets to the exit, she would kind of pause and look back, and I guess a moment of contemplation before leaving again, but no longer with that spring in her step. And with that, Kendra will turn to you all and, another round? Was there anything else I can get you?
Another round and some oatmeal, please.
Instead of ale, I'll simply have a bit of water right now, or some fresh juice. What air you have?
With that, she'll run to the back, get some food, freshly squeezed juice. She'll obviously happy to oblige with that request. At this point in time, we're gonna kind of leave it up to the three of you if there's things you want to talk about, things you want to do.
So my suggestion is that we move as quickly as possible and try to intercept those that are going to come to try to demand the tribute from the town. Take them out. Go back to their lair. Clear it out. Find any other hidey holes that this clan has and take care of it. Bring the artifact back.
Wouldn't it make sense to follow them? Let them take the tithe back? If we take them out, we won't know which cavern they've gone in, right? I mean...
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
I don't know this land, but it might be tricky to figure out the exact cavern. It sounds like it might be. I don't know. I'm not real sneaky. I'm not terrible, but I think you guys are both better than me. So I would guess just watching her walk and, well, you just look sneaky. Those ears, I mean, that just is sneaky.
Yeah. No, I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you so much.
As you should. It is meant that way.
I do appreciate that. Yes, I can be quite unseen when I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I take your point. I just simply don't want to have the town bled dry. Do you have any gold?
If we follow them back, that gold will come right back here.
Oh, definitely it will, but I'm just saying we should probably give them a gold or two to give us the tithe to make it so that they're not doing anything, because, they might think we're bad and horrible.
I don't believe we're actually paying for anything tonight.
True.
Some extra gold.
Do you want to pay the...
Which I can pay.
All right, let's table that for now, and we'll come back to it in the morning.
This is awkward.
I think that you're right. I think that we should just let them take it and follow them afterwards.
I wonder how many there are. They didn't really say.
Well, and I take out my rapier and dagger. I said, for this hand, another one for this hand. I can take 3.
Kind of just so that you're aware, kind of coming back and talking more. Kendra and Mora will kind of be at the other end of the bar and kind of be nearby in case there, more drinks or refills or anything are requested, and we'll just kind of hang out about and be there. With I guess at that point of questioning how many there are, Kendra might kind of perk up a bit and call out. And well, we normally see about 5 from the tale of Aerith. We hear there were maybe less than a dozen total, and that they slew themselves, and a hobgoblin and a strange shape bathed in light.
Shape bathed in light.
Yeah, she didn't go. That was hard to parse out from that.
Okay, I'm not willing to wait around here until they come back. We'll figure it out ourselves. I believe. I do. Like I said, I can take 3 myself. You, the human, you look like you could probably handle 2 or 3 yourself. And Guzman, I know you can hold your own. So I think that if there's even 6 come here, we can follow them back, and before they go in the cave, we can just and take them out.
Can I ask Kendra if they've ever accepted it from anyone other than the mayor?
No, just the mayor.
5 years? Jesus, no holidays? Rough.
It's an elected official. What do you expect? That they get every holiday off? Come on.
It's a job
5
that
years,
no
though?
one has wanted to offer to take from her.
But none of us saw that weird look she gave us. I expect we were already strategizing when she left. Because that would have been weird.
I don't know. Eh.
Maybe we would watch the mayor go out.
Let me just check some of the perceptions. I mean, everybody's about the +5. You probably would have caught it. Kind of just a quick change in demeanor.
I don't think she thinks we can do this.
She's worried about us, maybe.
Yeah.
She might be sentencing a couple of us to our deaths, she thinks.
Should we not meet her in the morning and just tail him?
Well, I think we should meet her in the morning and maybe see if she's got something to help us on her way. Items or equipment. I'm not above taking, say, a healing potion if they have it in this town, but I doubt that they'll have anything that powerful.
I was gonna say, they don't have money, and she said to get supplies before you meet her.
Yeah. This place is a shithole.
Yes, it is.
Well, Kendra will kind of butt in at that, and it's like, well, I mean, we had a few healing potions that Aerith had that they used last. Janice might have made more by now, or...
All right. I apologize. Your town's not a shithole. You've fallen on very hard times. And it's, I'm just remembering your glory days when I was here last time.
Excuse him, he's old.
Not that old. I've lived a couple of your lifetimes, but I'm not that old.
How old are you?
Old enough to know better.
Young.
So we'll go and see this. Did you say Janice?
Janice.
Janice. We'll go and see this Janice in the morning and see if she has anything that'll help us out.
Well, he actually runs the soothing shrine. If or the morning or the today, if it is still probably mid-afternoon. If you did want to go out today at all, you do have the time.
What do you think?
Let's do it today so we're ready tomorrow, I think.
All
I
right.
did actually walk by the soothing shrine earlier.
All right.
What?
Kendra, have a few Do you still do those fried things for dinner? The fried meat pies and such?
I could probably throw some together.
I have a few of those ready for us when we come back. You'll love them. I'm looking at the other two in the party. You'll absolutely love them. They're fantastic. A bit of gravy drizzled over the top and followed with a pint. It's great. Let's go.
Can we put pickles in them? Can you put pickles in one of them?
For you, sure.
Okay, thank you. That will. Let's go.
I might try that. It sounds interesting.
Put a
So we're
pickle
gonna
in
go-
anything and it's delicious. That's what
I-
I think. Like maybe it's a goblin thing. I don't know.
Might be a goblin thing. We'll see. So, going to the shrine.
All right. Back to kind of the heading out of the Smiling Skull Inn. You kind of again reach the courtyard. Still, everything looks pretty much the same. Really, no one has drawn attention to the fact that you all are, on a mission. It seems to be pretty, at least not announced to the town, as it were. But heading across the courtyard, you pass the fountain, the obelisk in the center, Hastian or Hastian?
Estian.
Hastian. As you
Today.
kind of cross the courtyard, all this recollection of being back here, you do remember kind of seeing the gauntlet kind of perched up top there, not really being guarded terribly. There's plenty of other people around, plenty of eyes, and it was kind of the mainstay of the town. That does seem to be what is missing at the top of kind of that pillar in the center of the fountain. But crossing the way, you do reach now the Soothing Shrine.
I point up at the fountain and said, "That used to be where the artifact was."
Well, this town is so small. Guess it's good to have all of the buildings around it to protect it. It did a great job.
As you step up to the Soothing Shrine, Guzmik, you've seen this before. As you kind of peeked in, the door is ajar, open, seeming relatively empty. As you kind of make your way in, you notice all the shrines to a great number of different deities, many of them that have, I guess, remembrance to you do have a halfway decent idea of the majority of the pantheon. Joanna and Hassian, you do see the symbol of the deity you would most call your own there as well. Guzmik, walking in further to kind of look around, at first glance, you do see a still lack thereof of any shrine of importance to yourself. But as you have stepped in a third halfway into the Soothing Shrine, you do catch a kind of a almost darkened corner, a bit forgotten, still taken care of, but in its own little nook, little niche, you do find what you had been looking for. But at that time, around the three central kind of shrines set out at the very far end, the three that are kind of the larger set, comes a a little older, middle-aged human, darker hair, going a bit gray, kind of around the edges, as he kind of calls out, welcome, travelers, to the Soothing Shrine. Is there anything I can do to assist?
We are the heroes that are going to go liberate your town. We have been enlisted by the mayor, and we're wondering if you've got any kind of healing potions that might help us in our endeavor tomorrow.
Well, I'm glad to hear we're to get some help, and you know our plight. Actually, I do believe I might have a couple potions, if you care.
We would be very interested in what you have.
It'd be 4 gold apiece.
You suppose you could cut us a deal because we're saving your town?
We also did get hurt from being enlisted to help the town.
Yes, she's right. The actual interview, I guess, caused us some problems.
He'll kind of look down at, or I guess look over at Hassian, who I can only assume is still a bit, maybe starting to bruise a bit. Yeah. He's like, oh, well, I could help with that. And maybe 6 gold for the pair.
Could we do this? Here's the deal. Either we make it back and your town is saved, or we don't and we're dead. I can give you 2 gold right now, and 5 when we return.
Unfortunately, gold that doesn't return, as you know, doesn't make it back to the tithe.
You have at least 2.
Very well.
Excellent.
So with that, I'll get added here shortly, those healing potions. But
Okay.
we'll need someone to subtract their 2 gold.
I'll throw 1 in if someone else wants to throw 1 in.
I can throw the other.
Thank you.
And guess who would be holding them?
I think Johanna should have 1 for certain, and
I think you guys should have them. I have healing.
I understand you have healing, but why would you waste your healing on yourself? Why not have a healing potion? I'm thinking about utility and the ability to say, okay, I'm gonna heal. I'm hoping I don't get hit. My AC is 18. I'm hoping that with that and doing some decent tactics, unlike what I did in the bar, I can avoid getting hit.
Well, you don't have to convince me to hold the healing potion. I'll
Okay.
take it.
And I.
So, yeah, I was gonna say you 2 take them. I'll do my best not to get hit.
Well, I do wish you the best of luck, and kind of motions about, and feel free to take a moment and let the gods soothe your soul. And before he leaves, we'll actually come up to you, Hassian, and we'll pause a moment to cast a healing spell on you. And just for the sake of this, we'll essentially say that he well, actually, hold on. That was all non-lethal damage.
Yeah.
He'd make a point to kind of trying to making a point of like casting a spell, and it does feel refreshing, but seems like at that point it's mainly just taking away a bruise.
I love it when they try to make a point.
Anything else at this direct moment?
Guzmik will wander over to that darkness.
I'm gonna wander over to the shrine of the goddess that I follow. Goddess
I'll
sword
go to my
play.
goddess.
Shoo, shoo.
You all kind of separate away. Janice will kind of pay attention to where you're headed, but definitely won't stop you and is there to be a guide, but not to intercede or interrupt.
So I look up at the statue of my goddess and say, "Look, I don't talk to you all that much, but the town needs some help. I'm here to do your will if that's what you want to do. Otherwise, we'll talk later."
Okay, so I'll just approach mine and just kind of like bow. And that's it.
What's the dude's name that worked? Tanis? That works
Janice.
here? Janice. Janice.
Mhm.
Okay. I will go to the darkness. I don't know, can I go, do I need to go like into it and just like disappear from everybody else? Or
No,
how big is the darkness?
it's more of just kind of a shadowy alcove that all the other ones were kind of in their own, maybe not as far set back. And as you kind of get up to your shrine, a little farther set back, but even still, like even standing there directly taking it in might only, cover half of you. It's not like you're stepping deep into any kind of darkness. You're just stepping up closer to it.
I'll just, I'm not gonna say anything out loud, but I'll just go up to it and like, kind of like think, as in like I'm trying to talk to the lost sister, like I'm here. I'm willing. Tell me what to do.
But with that, your pendant that you've kind of kept with you, kind of holding in your hand, seems to kind of gather some of your warmth and no real message back, save for whether it's a trick of your own mind or whether it's actually occurring of where the pendant seems to be a bit warmer.
What to believe.
Kind of as you kind of turn back, Janice may kind of have a bit of a crooked eyebrow of who you had chosen to step up to, but will not really make any conversation about it if you care not to offer it forthwith.
And I see the crooked eyebrow and I'll say, "No offense, but take a picture, it'll last longer." And then I walk by.
As you kind of walk past, he kind of hears, or I guess you hear him kind of whispering to you, it's good to see the lost one with some company.
My knees lock in a break for like half a second. And then I kind of recover and I keep going, making a mental note.
Okay.
Just of him.
Sure. As you kind of exit the soothing shrine and you take in the courtyard, you see heading your way a dejected, tail tucked between the legs, ears back, Kale being nearly dragged along by a similarly similar looking Lycanon female who is kind of, once she sees you, kind of strides with you towards purpose. And at that, we are actually going to call it the end of the game tonight. Let's see, where am I going? Here am I going. Okay. Sorry to leave it on a little bit of a cliffhanger or some interesting interaction that might be occurring, but maybe that means everyone will want to come back next week. So, let's see, where do we need to go? First off, thank you, players, for joining me. It is my first time really starting a long campaign, and I really do want to just let you all play and keep throwing down the tracks in front of you and have some fun. So hopefully you all enjoyed yourselves and are interested in coming back next week. Anyone in chat watching as well, we had a few people jumping in. Thanks again. Feel free to come back in next week at 7:30 on Wednesday. We'll be back at it again. Try to maybe get a little bit of action, maybe get a little more uncovering of a story. But with that, let's see. Our music again tonight was by The Derpwood. You can find their music on YouTube. Feel free to... no, you know what? Actually, we're going to start with Mike. Why don't you kind of let us know where viewers can find you and kind of keep up to date with all things Mike.
So I am a content creator and a home brewer. You can find me on D&D Beyond, putting out some interesting stuff. I'm also on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter. I've been doing 3-minute, how to make the game more successful on TikTok, and I'll have to get that to Tyler so he can share it. It's Madcap2350 on TikTok. Please feel free to follow me. It has been a great time playing Bastion, the Whisper Elf Rogue, for this group so far. We've done pre-adventures and now this one. So cannot wait to see what the future holds. Back to you, Ty.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll guess we'll see. It's nice to at least get a foot in Pathfinder and these characters a little bit before we really started. And I guess at that point, Allie, next up, I know you're not much on the socials, but how's the first campaign treating you? Hope everything's excited.
Oh my god, so much fun. I can't believe my first campaign I had the ability to fight a kid and I chose not to. But
Morally ambiguous.
I'm very excited to keep doing this on Wednesdays.
Awesome. Shelly, where can our viewers, find you and keep up to date and whatnot?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say this was a great first game. I think everyone did awesome. And I'm super excited to come back again next week. You can find me at Real Flea Monkey on Twitter. And I also play at Guild Superior. So go there, check that out. Yeah, and I didn't know that Mike had a TikTok. I'm kind of speechless about that one. I don't know. Now you're gonna start doing dances, and that's what I would pay money to see.
No. I simply go on and I do 3-minute things about how to better run your game.
How to dance and run your 3D printer.
Yeah, that too.
Okay. Yeah, so anyway, I look forward to next Wednesday.
Awesome. And on that, we're going to try to keep doing this every single Wednesday for at least a little while until I fall behind or or whatnot, and depending on everyone's schedules, we do want to be respectful of everybody else. So some of that may change, but that is kind of the goal in the long run. Sorry, I got to change some of this volume a little bit. Again, I have been Tythalanos. Again, this is my channel. Thanks again for anybody following or subscribing. Teapup did subscribe, so you guys are 2% to the way there to start talking about some art commissions, because I'd love to commission some artists and get some custom art in, because it's a talent and a skill I don't have and would love to kind of share the love out there. Let's see, what else was there? Oh, the Discord. Feel free to jump in to the Moonflower Tavern is my Discord. I'd love to kind of get some feedback from everybody, hear how it's going, where we can make improvements, because I just want to make sure everybody's enjoying themselves and having fun. I think that's mainly about it, right? Anybody else have any comments to go at the end of our kind of first game playing? Nothing. Everyone had fun.
Yeah.
Annoying little kid.
He almost got us, man. But no.
Down there and figure out.
Yeah.
Got us twice.
Well,
Say what?
He got us twice.
he almost got us twice. But we got his number.
Oh, touche.
He had an 18 on the first roll and did really darn good with that natural 20. Caught him by Guzmik, otherwise he would have had you. And the second attempt, he did roll a natural 1. So that was easily enough caught.
That was a real challenge for you.
Tempted again with Joanna, but I'm glad it all kind of worked out.
Yeah, don't mess with our coin purses.
Okay, hold on, I gotta figure out.
You're muted.
Who?
I'm not used to
Oh.
it. Me.
Okay, with that, I am going to get us kind of ending here soon, but feel free to stick around. We're actually going to raid out Nat 20 Productions, kind of send that TTRPG love around. Not so much that we have a lot of followers at this moment, but still kind of start sharing that love. So let me just kind of set this up. Why does her name have to be so long? Perfect. Again, thank you all for watching, players. Thank you for being here. We'll be back next week, and yeah, y'all have a good one.